This is how I film my videos. It's how I get my camera to sit still. Should really invest in a tripod. Hello, welcome back. Once again, I apologise if you hear any background noise. There's lots of people at home today. Also, you guys are probably wondering why am I wearing such intense eyeshadow. I forgot that I was playing around with eyeshadow before we started this, so today we have intense eyeshadow. Although, I like it very much. It's a palette I got from Primark. We might do a different video on that. That's not today's video. No, today, I'm, as my title would suggest, I'm here to give you a book review. For the first time in forever, I finally understand. For the first time in forever. I'm just kidding. For the first time in forever, I actually finished reading a book. I haven't finished reading a book in such a long time. But I almost forgot the sense of almost accomplishment and kind of a sense of sadness that comes with that, because your journey with those characters is over. Did anybody else get that when they finish a book? Like, I finished this book and I'm so accomplished, but at the same time I'm kind of almost heartbroken that my journey with these characters is now over. I think that's why sequels are great. But anyway, so I have been reading this book by, I'm going to butcher this name and I'm very sorry, Liane Moriarty. I apologise if I'm butchering this name. Called Truly Madly Guilty, and if you guys have watched the video I did before I went away last year about things I put in my carry-on luggage, you would have seen this book. You would have known that I took this book with me, and I told you back then, I've been reading this book for like almost 3 years, I think. It's not even a particularly big book, the print's not even that small. It just so happened that I just kept putting it down, and I don't know why. It's it's a good book, it's enticing, it's a mystery, and I love mysteries. So, I don't really know what took me so long to read it, but none of that matters because I have finished it now. So, I actually brought this book in the airport, funnily enough, when I went on holiday, like I said, 3 years ago. And it was in a deal. Me and my sister got a book together. It was like buy one, get one for so much money or whatever it was, or buy two and get one free or whatever it was. And this was one, I forgot the other book I bought, but this was one of those books. I originally had not taken it, brought it to take on holiday with me, and I didn't read the other book I took. And I think the other one I took has still got his bookmark in it. And I really liked it. I fell in love with it because it was a mystery. You guys might not know this about me, but I love mysteries. As a kid, I still love, actually, Scooby-Doo. And I think it really started off my love of mysteries. I like mystery TV shows. I like mystery movies, complicated things I've really got to sink my teeth into and to concentrate. You guys might have seen a pattern forming when I did my 6 favourite movies thing. You guys might have seen that they're all kind of like quite complicated films that I really enjoy. And this book, Truly Madly Guilty, was the first mystery book I'd ever read, actually. For some reason, my love of reading and my love of mysteries never really crossed over, and I don't really know why. Maybe because I am not a particularly fast reader, and so maybe I would forget as I go along. I'm not really sure. But, so yeah, so this is the first mystery I actually ever read, and I loved it. I will probably read more mysteries from now on. You guys can tell how bashed up this is. Do you guys know what this is? It's Cheeto dust. It's really grim, isn't it? That's how you know this book went to Florida. There's Cheeto dust on it. Also, there's paint on it from when I was painting my room. But that's how you know books are well loved. What is this book about? A barbecue. I'll read you guys the blurb. This is a story that begins with a barbecue. An ordinary neighbourhood barbecue in an ordinary backyard on a sunny afternoon. It was a last-minute invitation. Clementine and Sam didn't know the host very well. They were neighbours of their old friends, Erica and Oliver. Old friends they really ought to have severed ties with years ago. And there's a little bit more, and then it's, as 6 people try and piece together the events of that afternoon, home truths and old secrets surface. If they can't trust their own memories or motivations, can they really trust each other's? So basically, what happens is, like it says, Clementine and Sam get invited to a barbecue with their 2 little girls. And it starts out, so chapter 1, the first lines of the book are, the story begins with a barbecue, the same as the first lines on the back of the book. And it starts out with Clementine, who is one of the characters. I wouldn't say she's the main character, there are sort of 6 main characters to it. So it starts out with her reading her series of events that happen. And it's actually a flashback. You don't realise to begin with that it's actually a flashback, and as the chapter goes on, you start to realise, oh, actually she's telling a story. And then the next chapters are, if I don't see, you guys can see. Nope, hang on. No. Chapter 23. There we go. So chapter 22, we'll start there. It says the day of the barbecue, so that's how you know when you're in the past. And then the normal chapters, so the present day chapters, will just say which chapter you're on, like chapter 1 does. I got caught out a couple of times where I was reading it and I was like, oh, hang on, we've jumped, and then I had to realise that I'm actually forward in time or back in time. So what happens is Clementine and Sam get invited to a barbecue, and something happens at this barbecue, an accident happens, and you don't find out right away. I don't think you find out till almost like 25 chapters in what actually happens, and they keep you enticed because each chapter is from a different character's point of view. So the first chapter is from Erica's point of view, then Clementine's, then Sam's, and so on and so on. So you get everybody's different point of view of what happened at the barbecue and what is happening now in the future, and how it affects all these different people's lives. And I just thought that was so interesting. So the way my brain works when I find a mystery or find a problem that needs to be solved is I have to figure it out before said characters do. I think that's why I like complicated movies, because I've got to try and figure them out. I recently watched all of the Oceans movies with my sister, and I was sitting there trying to figure out how they were going to get the money out the entire time, because I needed to do it before George Clooney did. I didn't, but I needed to. £7 is a really good example of one I figured out right away. I'm getting off topic, but £7, I figured it out. And so I'm reading this book, and I am trying to figure out and work out what it is that happened. And I sort of figured it out. There's a point where somebody tells you who the accident happens to, and after that I sort of managed to piece together bits of it, but then there was a real shock reveal at the end of it, which I didn't see coming, like, at all, and that's what I really liked about it. I loved that there was just this shock, like, oh, I should have thought that, but I didn't see that coming, which was really cool. And I love twists that I don't see coming. Very rarely do they happen to me, because, like I said, I have to figure stuff out before characters do. So the fact that I didn't see that twist coming, that was a real thumbs up for me. And I don't know, I liked the way it was written. It just flowed very nicely. Like, it wasn't overly complicated. There weren't overly complicated words in it, or there wasn't, like, I don't know if you guys have ever read any of the Tolkien books, but there's a whole lot of heavy description that goes on in those books, and I dislike it. I dislike description, I dislike to read it, and I dislike to write it, which is probably why I will never ever finish writing any of the books I've started to write, because I really dislike it. And this book doesn't do a ton of description. It does just enough description to give you a feel of where the characters are and who the characters are, which is great, and that's what I really liked about it, and I think that's what really enticed me about it to begin with, because I like to sort of, what I do is I like to just flick through and see the style in which a book is written before I buy it. What my sister does is actually really interesting. She will pick up a book, read the last lines of a book, and if she likes the last line, then she will buy it. Some people say that's like a spoiling it, or like a spoiler alert, but I think that's actually really cool. So, because it is written from 6 people's different point of views, you never quite grasp what actually happens until it is happening in the present day. And you're like, oh, that's what happened, oh, this is happening, that's why this happened, that's why, and as the story goes on, you start to piece together more things, which I think is really interesting. And I find that all the characters are quite likeable. I don't know if you guys have read Looking for Alaska. If you have, I'm about to voice an unpopular opinion, okay? I found Looking for Alaska very hard to read because I did not like the main character, whose name I have forgotten, I'm sorry. But I didn't like him. There was something about his character or the way he was that I didn't like, and I found it very hard to finish that book because I didn't like that character. In this book, I liked all of them. There were dislikable things about them, but not enough that I would stop reading a book. And that was cool. I really liked aspects of all the characters, and I liked the way that all of the characters were very different in a sense that there weren't two quite really alike characters. Everybody was different, everybody had their own individuals and individual personalities, and that was cool. So yes, I highly, highly would recommend, if you guys like a mystery, or like me, you have never read a mystery before and you're thinking, I want to venture out into a different category, try Truly Madly Guilty. I thought it was just wonderful, actually. It's enticing, it's interesting, it's got a lot of characters in it. So like I said, there's the main 6, and then there are other characters in it as well, which is really cool. All across different sorts of age ranges, which is also really cool because you get to see it from not only different people, so not everybody is sort of their mid-30s in it. Everybody is at different ages all over the board, which is cool because then you get to see how children react, how teenagers react, which I think is really interesting as well. So, yes, Truly Madly Guilty. Highly recommend it. I've also started reading another book. So I have a book problem, and I brought 2 more books the other day because there were 2 for £7 in Tesco, and they're over there, so I can't show you. And I've started reading them too, and one of them, I've only started reading one, I haven't started reading 2, and it's about postcards. I think it's called Cretal Postal, something like that. I can't even tell you who it's by because it's over there. But that's really interesting, and I'm really excited about that book. So, Truly Madly Guilty. Highly recommend it. Loved it. If you guys like this book review thing, we might do more because I've got a lot of books that I have read, and I'm thinking that maybe we could do this maybe every couple of weeks. I'll throw in a book review at you because I like that our channel is sort of a little bit of everything. So maybe I'll do some more of these. We'll see how you guys react. So thank you guys so much again for watching and tuning in and sticking with me. Thank you. I was wrong last week when I said we had 13 subscribers. We still only have 10. Never mind, though, because that's cool, because if all you guys tell one friend, somebody has to subscribe to our channel. So, you guys, have fun, be safe, and I will see you next week. Kwaherini, everybody.